Whoops. Forgot to change the title of my stream, guys. So that being said, my reaction to the Browns versus Ravens, it's a good reaction. I thought the Browns played particularly well on both sides of the football for a change. I think Freddie Kitchens finally got his head out of his rear and went back to what made us successful last year. If you want me to elaborate on that thought, I would say that the things that made us successful last year would be Nick Chubb, first and foremost. Getting the running game working to open up that passing game. Utilizing the screen pass more. And getting the ball out of Baker's hands fast and getting it in the hands of your playmakers. Big time deal there for the Browns. Get Jarvis Landry involved. He was involved. You don't have to throw the ball downfield 30 yards all the time. We're getting a bite. It looks like a small bite, though. You don't have to throw the ball downfield, 30 yards deep every play, to make a big play. You get the ball to your playmakers nice and fast, short range, and then let your playmakers get you a 30, 40-yard play. That's what the Browns kind of went away from. They went away from getting their playmakers involved. And, they didn't leave it all up to Baker. Not everything was in Baker's hands. They let Chubb lead the way, Landry lead the way. Ricky Seals-Jones had a phenomenal game. The Browns did a lot of things well. Defensively, the Browns are playing out of their minds. Hey, Sportsline, how you doing today? I'm doing great, my friend, doing great. Got a little bit of glare here from the sun, but that's to be expected. It's pretty much 90 degrees today. When last I checked, it was 85 degrees. But it was supposed to get all the way up to 90. Yeah, doing well. No complaints from me, my friend. Hope you are doing well also. But yeah, Steve Wilks has that defense playing out of their mind. We're missing starters. Our whole secondary is pretty much wiped out, and they're still playing phenomenal football. So give a lot of credit to Steve Wilks there. That was a good bite. Uh-oh. That might have been a little bullhead. He might still be on there. Guys, I think we got a little bullhead on our line. Because this line is just bumping. I think we got a bullhead on there, guys. I'm going to give it a minute and see if it quits. We definitely don't have a big fish on there, I'd know. Sam B, what's up, Sam B? How you doing? Good to see you in here, my friend. Good to see you in here. Okay, the bumping did quit. So I'm assuming we do not have a fish on there. That could have been a larger fish, just, sampling the bait. But that rod was going up and down, up and down, up and down. But now it has gone back to rest. Last time my rod was doing that, guys, the reason I didn't check it, last time my rod was doing that, I had a 20-pound snapping turtle on the other end of it. So, unless that rod bends over and lets me know there's a fish on there, I'm going to leave it out there. Because I don't think that snapping turtle, I don't think he would have been hooked until I started reeling him in and pretty much set the hook on him. I think he would have been fine if I just let him steal the bait. But I got over eager and I thought it was like a, small fish. So I grabbed my rod up and, set the hook and started bringing him in. And it's like, dude, this is a frickin' turtle. I could just, anybody who fishes, when you got a turtle on there. You can just feel it. And, yeah, so when my little lines, my rods just bumping like that real easy, I like to just leave it and see what happens, because I don't feel like dealing with another snapping turtle. That was rough. That was not an easy situation to deal with there. I've been good, Sam. How have you been, brother? How have you been, Sam? You know, actually, guys, now I think about it, I'm going to give this 5 minutes from right now, so it's 4:42. I'm going to give this 5 minutes, and if my line doesn't move again, I'm going to pull it in and check it. Because it's very, very possible that my bait just got stolen. Very possible. For the rod to get hit that many times, you know, and bend over like that many times, and not have a fish, odds are, you know, it's pretty likely that I don't have bait anymore either. So we're going to give this about 5 minutes here. J-Dub, what's up, friend? How you doing today? I didn't see you in BITG on Sunday, man. What happened to you? Were you there, but just, you know, busy doing other stuff? I'm assuming BITG didn't go on last night because I didn't see no notification from them. I didn't check either, but normally I see the notification normally. No, okay, you were in Universal Studios. That's pretty cool. I've never been to Disneyland or Disney World. It's definitely on the bucket list. Get some money saved up so I can take my daughter. She is all obsessed with Disney princesses, man, let me tell you. You know, she said she wanted to be Belsa for Halloween, which is, you know, combining Belle from Beauty and the Beast and Elsa from Frozen. She said she wanted to go as Belsa. And we're like, honey, we can't do that, you know? We're not talented enough to make you a custom costume. But she's all about the Disney princesses, so I'm going to make sure I get her out there before, you know, she's too old to enjoy it. You know, the next year or so, hopefully. She's turning 4 here in 9 days. On the 9th. So I guess 8 days, technically. So she'll be 4 this year, and maybe take her towards the end of the year when she's like around 5. You know, around, you know, her next birthday when she's probably like 5. That's the goal. He took Monday off again. What have you been pulling, Sam? I haven't seen nothing from you, and I apologize for that. What have you been getting, Sam? Philip Oldenburg, what's up, my friend? How you doing today, Phil? Good to see you in here. Good to see you in here. Alright, we got 2 minutes and we're going to check out this bait. I got a feeling there ain't nothing on there. Oh, the 1st of November, Sam? So you're right there in the same time bracket I'm in there. Same age group. Okay, Phil, yeah, I understand that, man. I appreciate you stopping in at all, my friend. I appreciate that. It means a lot to me that you guys come hang out with me while I do these fishing streams. It gives me something to do, honestly. Like, whenever my phone dies and the stream ends, it's like, man, I'm kind of bored. You know, and it's not even like I can go watch your guys' videos because my phone's dead. You know, I mean, it's a lot more fun, you know, talking to somebody while you fish. At least doing the kind of fishing that I do where I just kind of throw it out and leave it out there. It's a lot better when you got somebody to talk to. Wendy G, how you doing? Probably Pusa. I do watch Pusa. I think they have a fantastic channel. Or Pusa, if it might be Pusa. If I said it wrong, I apologize to those guys. But yeah, they have a fantastic channel over there. I've met a lot of wonderful people over there. Unfortunately, I don't know how to check if I have you while I'm on stream because I'm doing it through my phone. But when I get back home, you know, I'll make sure that I'm checked, you know, that I check and that I have you as well. I appreciate you stopping by today. Got a bunch of Acuna Jr. rookies and an Ohtani rookie card auto. Wow, that's huge, Sam. Out of a retail pack, an Acuna auto? That's absolutely huge, man. All right, we're going to go ahead and check this bait. Went fishing in Wyoming last Friday, only caught a cold. Oh, that's awful, Wendy. I appreciate you being here, Wendy. It means a lot to me. It really does. I'm always thankful for each and every viewer that I have. So it means a lot to me. But yeah, if it was easy, they would call it catching. That's why it's called fishing. You're not guaranteed nothing. You know, you look at a lot of these YouTube channels, especially a lot of the big successful ones, you know, and they would kind of lead you to believe that you're going to go out and smash a monster every single time you go out and fish. And that's just not the case. We've been skunked here on my channel before. You know, it happens to the best of us. Not that I'm the best of us or anything. But, yeah, I mean, it's difficult. You know, that's why they call it fishing and not catching. All right, I'm going to check this bait, guys. I'll be right with you in just a second. Nope, I was right. No bait on there. We got stolen. I'm glad I didn't wait too long to check it. If you guys are ever out there fishing like I'm doing, you know, just cast and wait, you know, bottom fishing, you know, or bobber fishing, if you get a lot of action on your rod and you don't hook a fish, you know, I always give it about 5 minutes. And if I don't see any more action on my rod in 5 minutes, I'm reeling it in and I'm checking my bait. You know, because the number one thing about fishing, you got to have bait in the water or you ain't going to catch no fish. Well, that's not 100% true. But, you know, it's mostly true. Not going to catch any good fish with no bait. Theoretically, the fish could swim into your line and hook himself. So... go ahead and bait back up here real quick, get it back out there. At least I know these fish are interested in this bait if they're willing to steal it, so that's a good sign. You know, you got to focus on the positives out here. You know, don't focus on the negative, focus on the positive. And not just fishing, you know, in life in general. You know, what's that saying? The power of positivity or something along those lines? There is power in positivity, my friends. If you keep a positive attitude, you're doing yourself a real favor. Alrighty, let's get back out in this water. We're fishing for carp again today, guys, like we typically do. And we'll take any catfish that we might get. It's a homemade pack bait, Wendy. It's kind of at the end of its road, so it's got a little bit of everything in there, but it originally started off as panko breadcrumbs, just plain unseasoned panko, with the little whole kernel sweet corn and a packet of strawberry gelatin. And you mix it all together, and then you pack it around your weight on your line, and throw a couple pieces of corn or a little bread ball on your hook, and you'll slam carp and you'll slam catfish all day long. It's pretty rare that we strike out when we're using this bait. Now, I've come out here and I've struck out with worms, I've struck out with the stuff you buy from the bait shop, but I don't honestly know if I've ever struck out in this river with this bait. If there's carp in the area, they will eat this bait. It's a guaranteed fact. Unless the carp aren't feeding. If the carp are not feeding for some reason, then you might not catch them. But the great thing about this bait is it also opens you up to pretty big catfish as well. So you can get catfish and you can get carp on the homemade pack bait. I believe that the fish that just stole our bait, I believe, was a catfish. Because the way that he would hit the line and then go away and then come back and hit it again makes me think that, because carp are usually get spooked easy. Normally a carp comes by and he'll either hook himself or he'll spit the bait out and not come back. Catfish tend to hit it and then wait and then hit it again and then wait and then hit it again. And I believe that was a catfish we were fiddling with there at first. But carp, typically, they take it and they're hooked. Unless they spit it out, of course. But they don't normally hit it repeatedly, It is illegal in some places from what I've heard, Wendy. I did look online, and I didn't find a whole lot of truth to that myself. And the only reason that I could figure that would be illegal is because it's like an unfair advantage. Because a lot of these fish in these systems, that come from hatcheries, like the river that I'm fishing in, it's not fed by a hatchery. It's just a natural, river that has, natural fish populations. But a lot of these lakes and rivers that are stocked with fish from hatcheries, in particular trout, they're raised on corn. So if you throw some corn on your line, you're going to slam trout all day long. If you're fishing in a stocked river or a stocked pond or a stocked lake, you're going to slam all the trout out of that lake and eat, if people catch and eat, which normally most people fish for trout to eat them, they're going to have to constantly be restocking. So that would be the only reason I would figure it was illegal, because it would be like cheating. But as far as I know and all the research I've done, the corn does not harm the fish, in any way, shape, or form. Where are you at, Wendy? Oh, in Colorado. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't see that. Yeah, it might be because of the stocking. It depends. I think it would depend where you're fishing also. But I mean, of course, a law like that, it's not going to be, oh, you can't use it in this body of water. They're going to have to make it, everywhere. But yeah, it doesn't harm the fish. I think they're just worried about having to pay those heavy stocking, fees. Because certain fish are really expensive to stock. Like if you ever looked at the price to stock a muskie, it's really expensive. And it takes a lot of, time and money to stock places with fish. And if you're going to use what those fish are used to eating as bait, it kind of gives you an unfair advantage. We're seeing some bubbles come up in the water here. I really hope that's not a snapping turtle going for my bait again. I do not want to see another snapping turtle. Okay, Wendy, I would go with weedless baits if you're lure fishing. I would go with weedless, weedless hook. If you want to run, some kind of soft worm or something, a soft frog, I would go with the weedless hook. And they actually make lures, like there's this thing called the Moss Boss. Man, I can't hardly see, guys. That's really good. It actually floats upside down. It looks like a frog going through the water, and the hook floats topside up. We're getting a little bit of action on our hook here. On our line, I should say. But they make actual, devices that are actually designed just for that. My solution to that is what you see me doing here. I'm fishing for carp and catfish and fishing on the bottom. And you just have to find the pockets where the weeds and the seaweed and the grass is really what it is. You have to find pockets where it's not at. and fish in those pockets, you know, and the fish will come out of the weeds, you know, and they'll take your bait. If you want to lure fish, it does become a lot more difficult at that point. But this river that I'm fishing in here, it's covered in grass and, you know, vegetation and growth. And I just fish the bottom for that specific reason. It's a pain in the butt. I don't like dealing with it. So I don't lure fish, you know, I fish off the bottom. If that answered your question at all. Your cousin hooked the fish in the eye ones. Sorry, I'm going back to try and see if I missed any chat here. Crawdads question mark? I mean, crawdads make great bait. If you can catch them, if you can find them. Catfish will slam on crawdads. Bass will slam on crawdads. Just about any predator fish, you know, your bowfin, your pike. You know, just about any predator fish will slam on crawdads. There's actually an easy way to hook them too. If you actually take a rubber band and you double it up and you slip it over their torso, and then you just hook your hook through the rubber band, it'll help them stay on your hook a lot better, and it won't injure or kill the crawdad until a fish eats it. A lot of people hook crawdads, and by the time it takes them to get a bite, the crawdad's already dead. So a great way to keep them alive is wrap a rubber band around their torso and then hook your hook through the rubber band instead of actually through the crawdad itself. But crawdads are fantastic bait. I was told corn is illegal to fish with where I'm at, but you're right, corn works damn good. Where are you at, Sam B? I should probably already know, but I don't, and I apologize for that. My line is still moving just a wee bit, guys. So it's either a turtle or a really, really small bullhead, or maybe even a bluegill. Believe it or not, I've actually caught bluegill while bottom fishing before with worms. As crazy as that sounds. And not only that, but the guy somehow managed to swallow a 3/0 circle hook. No clue how he managed to accomplish that. I mean, the hook was bigger than his mouth. So I have no clue how he accomplished that. Oh, Oregon? Yeah, it seems like you guys out in the Pacific West, seems like man, that's crazy. She's from Colorado, you're from Oregon, and it's illegal in both places. That's nuts. Yeah, as far as I know, there's no law against it in Ohio. I've looked, and there's no law against it in Ohio. And it really is a great bait, you know, and like I said, it doesn't harm the fish because there's a lot of fish that are raised on corn, you know, from hatcheries. So I can't see anything wrong with using it, other than the fact that you will quickly deplete a fishing supply, you know, a fishery, while using it. That's the only downside or negative that I can see about using it. But yeah, that's crazy. Everyone still does it anyway, Sam? I haven't actually looked too much at the laws and regulations of Ohio and what I can and can't do. I've looked a little bit. I know you can't use any sport fish for bait. So like if I caught a carp and bonked it on the head, I couldn't cut it up and use it for bait. You know, no bass, no, you know, even Asian carp, which are invasive, you still can't use them for bait. You can kill them, but you can't use them for bait. So, I mean, the laws are kind of weird and they're kind of stringent sometimes. But for the most part, you know, I just fish, you know, and I catch stuff, I let it go. You know, I'm not out here to ruin the ecosystem or the environment. So, you know, I come out here and I pretty much do what I want. You know, I'm not like an avid lawbreaker or anything. And I'm not breaking any laws that I know of besides fishing without a license. But sometimes, you know, the rangers in the Department of Natural Resources or the Department of Wildlife, whatever each one of you guys have, sometimes they can be a bit stringent. You know, and they can be a little stricter than they need to be. You can't use garlic and cheese balls either, Wendy? That's crazy. Brian, corn is an unfair advantage because fish are raised in hatcheries and they're fed corn their whole life. So they're going to go for corn before they're going to go for a fly. You know, like trout fishing in particular, a trout, You know, trouts that are raised in hatcheries where all they're fed their whole life to get to the size before they're released is corn. If there's, you know, somebody fishing with the fly, they're going to hit the corn way before they hit that fly. You know what I'm saying? And then at that point, you know, if you're taking them and you're catching and keeping and cooking and eating them, you know, your water supply will quickly be out of fish at that point. But that's why it's an unfair advantage, Brian. Just because the fish are used to eating it. Thanks for stopping by the way. I appreciate you, my friend. Yeah, fishing license here is like, I think 25. So it's not ridiculous. It's not too bad. But it's more money than I have. You know, I don't have 25 bucks. If I had 25 bucks, I'd have went and got a license already. But I usually typically spend my money on other gear. You know, any couple dollars that I do get, you know, I buy new hooks. You know, I went out and bought a new reel that you guys helped me fund. You know, I bought this net with money from you guys, this net that I got. You know, I tend to like to upgrade my gear as opposed to going and getting a fishing license. The only reason I want a fishing license is so that I can go and fish other places. You know, that I believe, like right now, I don't believe a ranger or a police officer or any authority figure would ever be back here asking me, hey, let me see your fishing license. You know, I just can't ever see that happening here. But there's other places where I would like to go and fish, and I could totally see that happening. So, man, guys, I'm thinking I might have to check this bait again. I'm not seeing no, I'm going to give it 5. And if I don't see no movement, we're going to go ahead and check it again. But yeah, there's other places around here that are great for fishing, and I'd like to go fish them. I just don't have the license, and I'm not willing to risk it to get a ticket that I can't pay. If that makes any sense. So I fish back here in my little local river behind the house. And it does pretty good for us. We usually catch something most days. Right now the sun is absolutely killing me. Right in my eyes. And it's preventing me from pointing the camera at the water. Because all you guys are going to see is a big ball of shining light. But yeah, I came out here a little bit early today. Hoping that maybe that would land us maybe 2 or 3 more fish than what we normally get, which is like 1 or 2. I was hoping to get like 3 or 4. But so far, no luck. I broke my sunglasses again. I had super glued them back together to make them work, and somehow they got broken again. So I can't even throw on my sunglasses to help me out here. I'm going to have to super glue them again when I get home. But, you know, all in all, anytime you get out of the house, get out in fresh air, you know, get out in nature, it's always a good time. Whether you catch anything or not, you know, it's always a good time. $35 there? Dang, that's a lot. You don't fly fish, Brian? I mean, I've never tried it, but I know that a lot of people really love it, but I've never tried it. Hey, thanks for coming by, Wendy. I appreciate you. We're using the same pack bait we always do. The only difference is I threw a little bit of corn tortilla in it just to kind of thicken it up a little bit, stretch it out, because I don't have any money, and I don't have any more money for bait, so I've been trying to stretch this one out as far as I can. We threw some bread in there to try and stretch it out. And but it's basically the same thing, your panko, your jello, and your corn. And this has bread and corn tortilla in it. Yeah, Sam, you know how awful that would be if they took my rod and took my net and took my box? Oh, man, that's hundreds of dollars of stuff gone. And I wouldn't even be able to replace it because of, not having a job. But most importantly, I mean, it's my grandfather's. Dude, that would end very badly for me because I wouldn't let him take my grandfather's rod. It just wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't happen. I need to get a license to prevent that from happening. But yeah, I would say there's no way you're taking this, and they'd take my ass to jail. So I'd be in jail and lose all my gear because it wouldn't go down, without a fight. There's no way. It's too sentimental to me to get taken from me. Too sentimental. Yeah, that would be awful, Brian. Did any of you guys hear about this Amber Geiger lady? Somehow, I mean, I don't really watch the news. I don't pay any attention to the news. I don't watch any of the mainstream media. I do keep up with some things, politic-wise and stuff. But for the majority of the time, I don't watch any news whatsoever. And I found out today there's this lady down in Texas that walked in some guy's apartment and shot him dead. And then her defense, in court, her defense was, oh, I thought it was my apartment. And it's like, what? How stupid do you have to be? Like, and I don't know, I'm not going to get into it too much. But a lot of the stuff that was said is that she was white and he was black, and that's why she did it. That's the narrative that the media is painting, and we'll just leave it at that. Nobody say anything about that. That's just the narrative that's being painted. Well, my opinion and my view on it is that the lady is a moron, and that's why it happened. How do you walk into somebody else's house thinking it's your own house and then shoot and kill somebody thinking that they're intruding in your... How do you not notice? Like, the very first thing that popped in my head was like drugs. Okay, this lady's on drugs. She's clearly a drug user. She had just smoked some of the most fire reefer you've ever heard of in your life. She was stoned out of her mind, and she was like tunnel vision, You know how you guys... I don't know if you guys smoke or have smoked, but I used to be an avid pothead. I used to wake up and smoke and go to sleep smoking. Smoke all day, every day. And I've been stoned and done some pretty dumb things before. Like, oh man, I was so stoned, I didn't even realize that. So the very first thing that popped in my head is like, okay, this lady's a stoner. She was stoned, and that's how it happened. But it turns out the lady was a police officer, which I'm not saying she might still be a stoner. I don't know. I didn't look too heavily into it. But man, dude, the only thing that I can figure is like a moron, a nitwit. Like, how stupid do you have to be to walk in somebody else's house or apartment and not immediately realize that it's not your own? Like, the fact that she even walked in at all before she realized is insane. But then the fact that she walked in, didn't realize, and then killed a man who was eating ice cream and watching football, like, that either had to be intentional, or you have to be like the dumbest person on the planet. And at that point, how did you get on the police force if you're so freaking stupid? I don't know. It's just, the whole thing blew my mind, guys. It absolutely blew my mind. It was crazy. Like, you got to be a real idiot to do something like that. But nevertheless, that's the most interesting thing I learned about today. I guess the moral of the story here is buy yourself a wreath. Go out and get you a big, nice wreath to hang on your door. Make your door stand out. So, paint it maybe. Paint some stuff on it. Get you a big old wreath. Get like a big sign, caution, or something. Make your door stand out, I guess, is the thing I learned here, because I don't know. I just don't see how something like that could ever happen. It's absolutely insane. Buy a gun would be one strategy there, but then there would be a shootout. They'd both be shooting at each other. I guess this lady came in with her pistol drawn and just didn't ask no questions, just started shooting. So at that point, if you're sitting there eating ice cream watching Monday Night Football, are you supposed to sit on your sofa with your gun next to you? I don't know. The only solution I can think is go buy a fucking wreath or a frickin' wreath and put it on your door. Ghostface, what's up? How you doing? You put your gun away when you're eating ice cream, Brian? By a slingshot? I don't know if any of that stuff would work, guys. I think I got to check this bait. I got a feeling we don't have any on there again. I'm glad you're doing good, Ghostface. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I mean, the lady wouldn't have walked in his house and killed him if he had a wreath on the door. At least I think so. Because the lady's defense was that she thought it was her apartment. Well, if the guy had a big-ass wreath on the door, you know, and some, you know, some kind of awesome painting or, you know, a LeBron James poster, how could she think that that's her apartment if the door stands out and is different than her door? I'm assuming they both had two plain Jane non-decorated doors. That's the only possible way that I could see it could happen. You know, so if you get something and decorate your door, if you live in an apartment, maybe you won't have somebody walk in and shoot you. Or at least I would hope that you wouldn't have that anyway, but man, apparently it happens. Wreaths are lovely. It makes the door friendly. I agree, Brian. That's what I was thinking, Ghostface. Like, dude, you would immediately know, like, my TV's not there, my furniture's not there, unless she thought this guy broke into her apartment and just rearranged all her furniture for her and was like, I don't got nowhere to watch Thursday Night Football. This seems like a good place. You know, so he goes in her fridge, and she should have realized, like, well, I don't have vanilla ice cream in my fridge. You know, or my TV's a different size than that. Like, I don't know, like, police officers are supposed to be observant, and apparently this lady was not. Like I said, the only thing I can figure is that she's an absolute, complete nitwit. You know, like just a moron. It's the only thing that I can figure, realistically, you know? I guess she could be lying, Kelsey, but I don't know. Nobody said she was lying. And supposedly these two people have never had any contact, so why would she just randomly pick him to be the one that she kills? The whole thing just seems far-fetched to me in general. The entire discussion, the entire events, the way that everything happened, it all seems far-fetched. But I don't have anything else to believe other than the official narrative. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, JW. This is my apartment, not yours. Something like that. But basically, yeah, J-Dub, I even thought the same thing. Put a big-ass sign on all apartment doors from now on that says, this is not your apartment. You know, if I was living in an apartment right now, I would have a sign on my apartment door saying, this is not your apartment. I would have it big, red, bold, black lettering. You know, it would be extremely noticeable. Maybe some yellow and red. But yeah, I don't know how to figure it, guys. She's trigger happy. If you enjoy that sort of thing, what job would you choose? Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the other thing. I mean, I guess she is very trigger happy person because, you know, from what I understand about the course of events, she basically walked in and shot the guy, like, immediately. Like, there wasn't no, like, struggle. There wasn't no fight or nothing. She just walked in and shot him. But, I mean, if I had somebody walk into my apartment with a gun drawn, I would try and defend myself. So even if there was a struggle or anything, she is still in the wrong because she's in the wrong place. So, I mean, the whole thing is asinine to me. It's absolutely asinine, but she does seem to be a very trigger-happy individual. Yeah, I don't get it either, Sam B. I don't get it either. It makes me think there's a lot more than what's been said. You know, my predominant theory is that there's more that is going on that has not been explained. Maybe, you know, because supposedly it's the same apartment but one floor up. Maybe he was one of those neighbors that, like me, you guys see me watch the Browns game. Maybe he's one of those neighbors that gets up and stomps around and, woo! You know, when when his team scores a touchdown. Maybe he was one of those guys that really celebrates when he watches football, and she had one too many stomps on her floor one night. She's like, you know what, I'm going to take care of this mofo. And she went up there and said, ha, got rid of the noisy neighbor, and now I'm just going to say it was my apartment. I mean, I don't know what happened, but supposedly the two had never had any contact. Supposedly. I don't watch 60 Minutes, Kelsey. I watched one small section of a 60 Minutes episode. I do not watch 60 Minutes. You're fake news. You're fake news. You believe it was an accident, but she is clearly reckless with her gun and has terrible judgment. I agree, JW. I didn't find any reason to believe that she was lying. I just think she's ignorant and a moron and stupid and oblivious and, you know, all kinds of derogatory words for not having any sort of decision-making skills or rationale or critical thinking skills. Like, she's just a dumb blonde. It's about the only way that I can put it. And I know that's stereotypical towards blondes, and I apologize, but man, that's like the nicest way that I could put it, that she's a moron. I mean, but I agree with you, J-Dub. She should have used her less lethal option if she had on her belt stun gun and taser. Yeah, I agree, J-Dub. Winnie B, what's up, Winnie B? I imagine she enjoys a hard scissor as well, just putting it out there. Okay, Brian. Walking in someone else's house don't happen unless you're shit-faced drunk. Exactly, Sam B, or stoned out of your mind. If you're stoned out of your mind, it could happen. Oh, now I'm fake news. 100% to all those adjectives. Yeah, it's a total bullshit story, to be honest. I agree. I don't know, guys. I heard about it today, and it blew my mind. I have to check this bait, guys. We can continue talking about that or talk about something else in just a second here, because I know there's no bait on here. I know it. Yep, no bait. No bait. My pole doesn't go that long without getting some action unless there's no bait on it. That's the only way. And I'm sitting here so caught up in this story and wanting to hear all of your guys' opinion that I'm sitting here, you know, not even checking it when I know I need to check it. You know, but I find the whole events and the whole thing to just be disturbing, yet fascinating. You know, like, it's a shame that the guy lost his life and that it happened. But at the same time, I can't figure out how in the world that could happen. You know, so I find it a wee bit fascinating. And maybe fascinating is the wrong word for it. I find it suspicious. That's definitely one word for it. All right, this is going to be the one that catches the fish right here. No more bait stealing, no more false bites. This is going to be the one that we catch a fish on right here. Mark it down, guys. This is going to be the one we catch. Because I'm running out of bait quickly. Well, that glare went behind a cloud so you guys can actually look at the water here, at least for a little bit. Well, most of the glare went behind the clouds. Total BS story, to be honest. Winnie B didn't say shit. He came in like, yo, and bounced on out. But then again, the stream wasn't very PG when he came in, and he's just a kid, so I guess I understand that. No, I've never eaten a sunfish. I've eaten bluegill, which are basically the same thing, but I mean, I don't catch them and eat them. But I have had them that other people have caught and fried up and ate. Ghostface, typically we do catch a fish, typically. But today's been, my bait's been getting stolen. I don't know if it loses some of its stickiness the third day that it's been in the fridge, or the fourth day it's been in the fridge, however long it's been in my dang fridge. I don't know what the deal is, man. We're just having fish come by and the rod tip moves and it bends and it moves, but we're not hooking them. They're just taking the bait and running away. And sometimes that happens, but it normally doesn't happen this much. Brain sample, we are fishing for carp. We have not caught a dang thing. We'll take a catfish too. But thanks for coming in, Brain Sample. I appreciate that, my friend. Oh, we're getting a bite. Oh, he let go. See, now my bait might be gone again. It just depends. I'm going to give it a few minutes. And if nothing happens, we'll have to bait it back up again. But I mean, the fish are hitting the bait pretty quickly. There we go, we're getting it again. The fish are hitting the bait and they're hitting it quickly. They're just not staying on the dang hook. He's messing with it. We're gonna get him. Ooh, Ooh, I almost picked that up and tried to get his ass, almost. I would almost say there's got to be a fish on there. Okay, I think we got a little bullhead on here, guys. I think there's a little bullhead on there. Because this line, this rod is not, it's moving constantly. And now it's quit. So I'm glad I didn't check it. More than likely the bait's gone though, more than likely. Give it 5 minutes, I'll check it again. Man, they're robbing me blind out of my bait today. Robbing me absolutely blind. Everybody went quiet. I feel like we were all engaged when we were talking about that crazy lady. What do you guys want to talk about, man? Somebody bring something up. Somebody let me know what you guys want to talk about. I'm sure you guys get sick of talking about fishing all the time. ASAP Fishing 1, what's up, brother? How you doing? Good to see you in here again. Haven't seen nothing come from your channel in a long time, man. You still out there fishing? You still getting out there on the water, my friend? You want to talk about paying college players, Brian? I can give my input, my opinion. I think they should absolutely be paid. College football makes so much money. It's arguably as popular as the NFL. In some states, in some cities, it's way more popular than the NFL. So I am 100% a believer that the athletes should be getting compensated for their efforts somehow. You know, I think it's unacceptable when you see these athletes go out there and have a career-ending injury in college, knowing that they'll never make a dime in their life from that injury, when you know, they're promising, you know, athletes, and they could, you know, potentially make millions of dollars at the next level. So I think there needs to be some kind of compensation, particularly if a player gets injured playing for that school. And I guess that's my thoughts on it. I think they should get paid. I mean, they're making so much dang money. You know, some of these college players literally fund their entire school. You know, that school wouldn't have any money if it wasn't for some of these players. You know, and some of these franchises or teams or whatever they're not franchises, but some of these schools, you know, they wouldn't have any money if it wasn't for the players. So why not pay them? You know, recruiting, you know, supposedly some of these players do get paid. Well, we just got some action on our rods, so apparently we still have bait. But I think that was the one that gave away the bait. I think that was the bait getting stolen, because our rod went quiet immediately after that. One hit and done. One hit, quit. Give it 5 minutes. If we don't see nothing else, we'll go ahead and check it. I'm on 50%. So we got about maybe another 45 minutes of stream left to go ahead and try and get us a fish. I seen something really big float by. I couldn't tell what it was, though. How's your Heritage collection going, Brian? You get any more Heritage high number? Or you haven't been to the store? I haven't seen no vids from you. Live with Blake, you in here, dude? Are you in here live with Blake? Or are you out riding your scooter? If I had to guess, I'd say you're out riding your scooter. But I know you come in and you don't talk, so I figured I'd ask you next time I'm streaming, are you here, Blake? Guys, I think our bait's gone. That's about the only thing I can figure, the bait's gone. I need to get a cushion to put on my tackle box, man. I typically have found that I catch more carp on nice, bright, sunny days like today, and I catch more catfish on overcast, cloudy days. But today we're not catching nothing so far. I mean, again, we're having a weather temperature change like constantly, like almost every day is a weather temperature change. And I don't know if that, I'm sure that's got something to do with it, some part to play in it. Deep sea fishing, Russo. Goodness, I don't know about that, my friend. I don't know about that. To be truthful with you, Russo, I'm a little paranoid and afraid of going out on a boat, going out in the ocean, and even going out on a lake for that matter. Yeah, I don't typically like to be in situations that I'm not in control of, you know, so I've never been on a plane. When I was a kid, we used to go out on the boat all the time. With my grandfather, he had a 40-footer, and we'd go out on Lake Erie. And we'd do all kinds of fishing out there on Lake Erie, but I was just a kid. So, you know, mostly I would just watch and hang out. If it was a big boat, I guess I'd be alright if it was a big boat. But I don't know, boats make me nervous, man, because if something happens, you're stuck. What are you going to do? You know, I'm a big fat guy, Russo. I sure as heck can't swim very far. You know, I can't swim very far, that's for sure. I get out of breath, and I'm out of shape, man. Now, if I was athletic as hell, like back when I played basketball, you know, back when I, you know, actually exerted myself, you know, then I would be all right because I could swim pretty decent. But being old and, well, not old, but, you know, feeling old and being out of shape, I could never. Yeah, I mean, I trust you, Russo. I mean, not that I don't trust you, but I'd be nervous. For sure I'd be nervous. But I mean, just 2 summers ago, I went out and me and my girlfriend used to go to Pymatuning, which is on the border of Ohio and Pennsylvania. And we'd go out there and you could rent a pontoon boat all day long for $100, you know, from sun up till sundown. And we'd go out there and we'd go fishing all the time. You know, that was a 21-mile lake, and it, you know, it got pretty deep in some spots. But I don't know what the difference was then. I felt pretty confident. Big life vest, Russo. A big life vest ain't gonna save me from a shark. I've been having to check your channel every day, Russo, to see if you make a video. Because what I found out that's happening, you usually post your videos pretty early in the morning. And if I'm not awake yet, I am subscribed to so many YouTube channels at this point, you know, and I knock the bell because that's what you're supposed to do, that your notification gets pushed out of my notification list. Like, I literally have to scroll through hundreds of notifications. There's a pretty big carp. I'd have to scroll through, you know, 50, 60 notifications to see if you posted. So instead of doing that, I just check your channel when I wake up every day. The sharks are afraid of Russo. If I was a shark, I'd probably be a little afraid of Russo. You and Luca Brasi make them sleep with the fishes, huh? Yeah, we got no bait again, guys. They got our bait again. That's the third time, guys. It's the third time they got our bait and didn't get the hook. All right, let me get this baited back up so we can catch us a dang fish. All right, let's get this back out there. Next fish who touches this line, man, we're going to catch him. I'm sick of getting ripped off out here. Oh, that's got too much slack in it. The Benefield bunch, what's going on? How you guys doing? Thanks for stopping by my stream. I really appreciate that. How's you and your family doing out there? Man, guys, I haven't seen Big Mike around at all lately. Big Mike's been missing. Bobby Junkwax has been missing. I haven't seen any of the regulars, really. Well, I mean, I've seen some of the regulars, but there's been a lot of people missing lately that I've noticed. I don't know if they're taking a break. Maybe they're tired of the hobby. Maybe they don't want to collect no more. I've noticed a lot of people have been missing. Man, the fishing is slow today. I can't believe it. I mean, the fish are feeding. They're stealing the bait. Oh, the rod's moving. The rod's moving. We might get one. The fish are eating. I mean, my rod's moving. Kick, kick, kick. Stop. I think they're on our bait again. I think they got the bait again. I don't get it, man. The fish are eating. Do I need to put a sharper hook on there? Is that where is my hook not sharp enough? Do I need to go to a bigger hook, a smaller hook? Probably a smaller hook, I would say. Do I need to go and try me a blowback hair rig? I mean, what do I do? The fish are eating. They're stealing the bait. They're not eating the hook. They're just stealing the bait. I don't understand it, man. Terrible luck. Now we've dropped down to a poor connection for no reason whatsoever. I'll have to keep an eye on that connection. I don't understand why it would be shorting out like that. Yeah, I'll give it 5 minutes. I think they got the bait again. Give it 5 minutes. Keep an eye on this connection. And if I don't see no action in 5 minutes, we're going to pull it back in, bait it back up again, try it again. I don't know if I should throw on a sharper hook. Maybe I should just go away from the bottom fishing and try and see if we can't get a bass or something maybe. The Dragon Lady from the Philippines. Hello, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. Really, really appreciate it. I hope you're having a fantastic day. And thanks again. I appreciate it. Appreciate that, Dragon Lady. I appreciate that. I'm sure I got a couple thumbs down, so the thumbs up really help. I got a few haters out there that come by and thumbs down everything I do. So I appreciate that. Trying to reconnect. What is going on with this phone? Why is it... It doesn't feel that hot. I don't understand. Yeah, everybody's got a few. Well, anybody who's active, you know, frequently active, they all got them. You know, if you get trolls coming in your chat, you know you're doing something right. You know, otherwise they wouldn't be there. You know, they'd be going and bothering somebody but bigger. You know, so trolls and thumbs downs, you know, they're a good thing. You know, positive mental attitude about everything. You might not like getting a thumbs down. You might want to know why you got it. But at the end of the day, you got it. You can't change it. So look at it as a good thing, you know. Power of positivity. Remain positive. Well, I'm starting to think check the bait again because it's not looking like it's on there. Give it just a couple more minutes here, I guess. Yeah, so far we haven't caught nothing. Normally we catch something, at least something normally. But today we haven't caught a thing. Then again, I haven't changed it up either. I've been doing the same type of fishing the whole time I've been out here, fishing for the same species the whole time I've been out here. You know, I brought my tackle box. I always bring my tackle box. I could always switch it up and try for something different. I just haven't done that to this point. But we might change it up here in a minute and go to something else. I mean, I only have 2 people anyway. You know, so I don't have to be that involved. You know, the reason I do this kind of fishing, normally there's a lot of people in here. Well, not a lot, but normally there's at least a handful. And, you know, I like to interact with my chat, you know, but nobody's really talking today, so I could actually do some lure fishing for a change and maybe grab a different species out of here. Let's go ahead and check this. I'm not even going to give it 5 minutes. I don't think there's no bait on there. Nope, no bait. No bait. I'm going to give this one more shot for a carp. And if we don't get a big old huge carp this time, I'm giving up. And I'm going to switch to lures and I'm going to try and grab a bass or a perch or whatever will bite a lure. Maybe I'll put on a crankbait or a swim bait. Probably a swim bait or a crankbait, probably what I'll go to. I don't really think I want to go to a spinner bait because the sun's not really out right now. Oh, you love to fish? Now, are you actually in the Philippines or are you in the United States? Goldie Cobb, how you doing, brother? Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate you. Yeah, the Browns You're in Las Vegas? Okay, I thought you were in Vegas, but I wasn't sure. Yeah, I meet so many people, it's, you know, sometimes it gets, you know, confused, and I thought I was talking to one person, I was really talking to somebody else. You know, I know how it is. You have way more people to interact with than I do. But yeah, sometimes I get confused who's where, you know, where everybody's at. Did you just see the Rams just got beat by Tampa Bay? And it was funny, because you know how I do my Brown streams? I had somebody come in and their screen name was LA Dodgers. And they're sitting there crapping on the Browns in my stream, in my chat. You know, and then once their team started losing, he immediately left the chat, and, you know, we were trying to troll him. But, you know, of course, at that point, he's gone. You know, I tried to go find him, you know, just to be petty and be like, haha, talking all that trash on the Browns. Where did that get you, my friend? You know, but of course, there's, you know, 100 people with the screen name, you know, LA Dodgers. So I couldn't necessarily track him down like I wanted to. But yeah, the Rams just got beat by Tampa Bay, by the Bucks. So they'll be out for blood. And then after the Rams, you guys got to match up with the Browns. I'd say the Hawks got a tough upcoming couple of games. Of course, I don't know who you play after the Rams and the Browns. I don't know who you play, but you guys got a tough couple of games coming up for sure. And aren't you guys in the same division as the Niners? Or no, the Niners aren't in your guys' division. You're NFC East, right? Or no, you're NFC West. I'm so confused. Let me know if the Niners are in your division or not. Because right now, they're undefeated right now. Yeah, the Rams look very beatable this year, Goldie Cobb. The Browns should have beat them. There's no reason at all that those Browns shouldn't have beat those Rams. No reason for it. Oh, you're going to the Philippines in November? That's awesome. I hope you have a safe journey and a safe travels. I've never been outside of the United States. I don't have a passport. NFC West, yeah, same division as Niners. That's why you'll be rooting. Okay, I figured. Yeah, San Francisco's hasn't been beaten yet, but they also just had their bye. So they're not 4-0, they're 3-0. And the Seahawks are what, 3-1, Goldie Cobb? Your brother's wife is from the Philippines? Lots of people seem to be married to people from the Philippines. My cousin has a Filipino wife, you know, and 2 partially Filipino children. I don't know how to say it politically correct, but Filipino women are gorgeous. You know, I don't know how to say it any other way that's other than that. I apologize if I offended anybody. But, yeah, Filipino women are gorgeous. 3-1. Lost to the Saints. Yeah, no problem, Dragon Lady. I mean, everybody has, you know, differing opinions, but, you know, my opinion is that, Filipino women are very pretty. But yeah, I see all kinds of people married to Filipino women. But you know, I think that's great. Lost to the Saints. The Saints are still doing pretty good though, aren't they? Didn't the Saints just beat the Cowboys? I didn't think the Cowboys were really going to get beat until they played like a powerhouse. And I'm pretty sure the Saints beat the Cowboys. So, I mean, the Saints look legit. You know, the Saints are good every year. But they look, you know, official and legitimate, you know, this year more so than others. You know, and when Drew Brees comes back, look out. I mean, look out, dude. When Drew Brees comes back, they're going to be a tough team to beat. They're going to be a very tough team to beat. Rams, Cleveland, Baltimore, Atlanta, Tampa Bay. I would say the Rams in Cleveland and Baltimore would be the toughest. But the way that Tampa Bay just shot it out and beat the Rams, they must have a pretty high-powered offense, you know, there in Tampa Bay. I know that they have Todd Arians as their coach now, I believe. I believe they switched coaches and went to Todd Arians. Or Bruce Arians, rather. I was thinking of Todd Monken. Bruce Arians, I believe, is the head coach. You never believe in the Cowboys? I don't know. The Cowboys look pretty legit. Dak Prescott's my fantasy quarterback, you know, so I want them to score a lot of points. Unfortunately, Dak scored me about 10, I think. I think he scored me 10 right on the nose. It was pretty pathetic, man. This last week in fantasy football, my kicker had more points than anybody on my team. And anytime your kicker has more points than anyone else on your team, you pretty much know for a fact you're going to lose. When your kicker's scoring more points than your quarterback, your running backs, your receivers, you know that that's a game that you're not going to win. And considering my kicker only had 11 points, you know that makes it even worse. Danny, what's up, Danny? How you doing, brother? That Monday Night Raw last night was lit. I'm a big fan of that, what are they called? Heavy Destruction? Heavy Metal? Heavy Diesel? I can't think of what they're called. Heavy Demolition? But man, I'm a big fan of them, Danny. Winston still makes mistakes. I actually got auto-drafted, Goldie. I accidentally slept through my draft. I know, I'm a bum, I know. But it was an accident. It wasn't intentional. Really, Dragon Lady? I hope you feel better. I hope you feel better. I hate headaches. I don't think anybody likes headaches, but I particularly hate them. Luckily, I don't get them too much. Luckily. But I hope you feel better, Dragon Lady. Carson didn't fumble last week. That's good. That's definitely game-changing. Game-changing, fumbles game changer, for sure. Heavy Machinery. Yeah, that's what they're called, Danny. Yeah, I like them. But Otis was like basically beating up both the other dudes. His partner was worthless. You know, so I think Otis needs to get a better tag team partner. I thought the Viking Raiders were awesome too, man. They had a little short fat guy that was flying, dude. He was flying off the ropes, flying off the turnbuckle. I mean, he was high-flying action for a little fat guy. I was a big fan of them. The Viking Raiders were awesome. The whole Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch thing was kind of, it was kind of weak. Like, Becky Lynch beat the crap out of her, and then she's going to go backstage later and she's going to start talking crap to her. And it's like, you just got beat up by her. Why are you going to talk crap to her when she just beat you up? Oh, whoa. We're getting some action. Danny and Grazes, good luck, man. We always catch a fish when Danny comes by. I think they just stole my bait. Alright. Yeah, Danny, that ending confused me because they were fighting for the Universal Championship. And I'm assuming that fight was like a disqualification, I'm assuming. I'm assuming nobody shouts Lahat. I don't know what that means, Tessie. Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate that. No idea what that means, but I hope it's positive and good. And thank you for that. I appreciate it. Oh, it's a migraine? Oh, Dragon Lady, that's awful. I really hope you feel better, Dragon Lady. But yeah, how did that end, Danny? Is that a disqualification? Like the match doesn't count? You know, I'm assuming nobody won. You know, because you got Rusev's wife out there making a fool out of him. You know, with Bobby Lashley. And then you got, what was his name? Rollins? You got Seth Rollins out there, and he's getting beat up by The Fiend. So I'm assuming nobody won that. Nobody won that fight, I'm assuming. Nobody took the belt. Seth Rollins still has the belt, I'm assuming. But yeah, that was interesting. Definitely didn't see that happening. Even though you told me it was going to happen, I still didn't see it happening. Rollins kept the belt? Okay. Yeah, I'll have to make sure I watch SmackDown on Friday. Did you see Brock Lesnar, man? Brock Lesnar beat up old Mysterio. And he beat up Mysterio's son. Dominic, they were calling him. He beat both of them up. And Dominic had to go to the hospital. And then, dude, my favorite part of the whole thing, Danny, my favorite part of the whole thing was when Hawk and Ric Flair got in the ring. I was smiling from ear to ear, dude. I ain't been that happy in a long time. I mean, I was smiling from ear to ear when Hawk and Ric Flair got in the ring together. That was my favorite part. And then they looked like they were going to fight for a second when Ric Flair took off his blazer and he went up against them ropes. That was awesome, man. That was so cool, Danny. So cool. But they drafted their teams. And so far, right now, I'm Team Hulk Hogan right now. Ric Flair didn't pick up anybody that I'm impressed with. You know, but who was the little guy, Danny? The little guy that came out and beat up the big guy? Using Rey Mysterio's moves on him. Who was that guy? Ricochet. Ricochet, I thought he was awesome. I'm a big fan of his for sure now. I don't even remember the guy he beat up, you know, but I'm a big fan of Ricochet. That was a lot of fun to watch. But yeah, all in all, it was a good event. It was a good event. I enjoyed it, very much so. I'm going to have to make sure I catch SmackDown on Friday and catch the next Raw next Monday. I'm going to have to make sure I catch this Hell in a Cell that's coming up, since you're going to have The Fiend versus Rollins. And, then isn't Lesnar supposed to be fighting somebody? Oh, Lesnar's supposed to be fighting Friday. I'm going to have to make sure I catch that. I'm hoping Kofi Kingston just kicks the crap out of him, but I don't see that happening. I mean, I don't see Brock Lesnar losing to anybody. I mean, name one person in the WWE that could come out and kick Brock Lesnar's butt. You know, name one person. There ain't nobody out there that can come out and kick Brock Lesnar's butt. You know, so I don't... Yeah, Cesaro. Yeah, that was the guy that Ricochet beat up. Seth Rollins didn't beat up Brock Lesnar, did he? Oh, is that how he got the name the Beast Slayer? Is that how he got that name, Beast Slayer? You like WWE too, Philippine or Dragon Lady from Philippines? That's awesome. Okay, Dragon Lady, I understand. Thank you for coming by, Dragon Lady. Yeah, Danny's been keeping me up to date on my WWE. I just found out how to watch it last night. I didn't even know how to watch it before last night. So Danny's been keeping me up to date on it. He's a good buddy of mine. But yeah, all things considered, it was interesting, you know. I liked it. I enjoyed it. But I just don't see Brock Lesnar losing to anybody. You know, there's nobody that I see beating up Brock Lesnar. Now, the simple fact that he's going to be fighting for the title on SmackDown, you know, against Kofi Kingston, I would like to see The Rock come out and kick his butt. I would love to see The Rock versus Brock Lesnar. That would make my day, man. Brock versus Rock. Brock versus Rock, man, would make my day. That would just be so cool, you know? Yeah, Brock is a show-off. That's why I don't like him, Danny. That's why I don't like him. I'm going to go ahead and check this bait. I think they stole it again. I think they stole it again. But I think The Rock could beat up Brock Lesnar. Or maybe get Goldberg to come out and spear him. Get Goldberg to come beat up Brock Lesnar. I think Goldberg could do it. I think The Rock could do it. Yep, we got no bait. I'm going to have to start catching these bluegill and throwing them somewhere else. I think these bluegill might be the culprit. There's a lot of bluegill in here right now. A lot of bluegill. I think they might be part of the reason I'm losing my bait, maybe. I wish Hulk Hogan wasn't too old to fight. I would seriously pay some big money to see Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan go back at it, man. That would make my day. That would absolutely make my day. Card Dreamer, what's up, brother? You're leaving for Georgia tomorrow night for our fishing trip. Good luck in tight lines, my friend. Tight lines. I hope you catch something awesome. You know, down in Georgia, they got pretty much anything you can think of to catch down in Georgia. Just make sure you stay away from them alligator snapping turtles, man. I wouldn't want nothing to do with an alligator snapper. I'm going to give this one more shot, I guess. Give it one more shot. Give me just a second here, guys. I'll be right with you. I got to throw this out there. Close up my bait box so I don't attract some bees. All right, what'd I miss? Yeah, Card Dreamer, I know that was tough on you, Card Dreamer. I know that was tough on you, brother. I mean, if I'm being realistic, you know, and not being a homer, well, I don't think it's possible for me not to be a homer. But I think the Browns have the potential to beat anybody in the NFL. I think they have the talent on the team to beat any team in the NFL. I really, truthfully believe that in my heart. You know, and it might be because I'm a Browns fan, but, you know, when they play like they played on Sunday, you know, when they're playing that well, you know, I think a lot of teams would have trouble beating the Browns. You know, they have so much talent, it's impossible to stop them, really. Oh, what'd you come up with, Danny? What'd you come up with on the percentage there? Lake Linear? Never heard of it, Card Dreamer. Nope. All right, Danny. Yeah, the 49ers are undefeated, but they're also coming off of a bye week. So they're coming off of a bye week with a 3-0 record. And as far as I know, the Niners are running the ball particularly well. You know, from everything I've seen, the Niners are fantastic at running the ball. You know, and it's no secret. It is no secret at all that the Browns are particularly weak against the run. You know, that's no secret. You know, so if they're running the ball as well as they are, and we struggle to stop the run as much as we do, that could potentially be a very brutal matchup for us. You know, but nevertheless, you know, we're going to go out there and play on Sunday. Well, not we, because I'll be sitting at home watching. But, you know, the Browns are going to go out there and play, and, you know, whatever happens, happens. Right now, we're at a really tough point in our schedule. To the point where, you know, this past week with the Ravens included, which I was looking at that as a must-win game, you know, just for divisional purposes. But, you know, I basically had said before, you know, if we win 2 out of the next 4, I'll be happy. If we can somehow beat, well, we already beat the Ravens, so if we can somehow beat the Niners, the Seahawks, or the Patriots, I'll be happy. If we can beat one of those 3 teams, I'll be happy. You know, so if we lose to the Niners, you know, I'm not going to get too bent out of shape or upset, you know. But I would like to get at least one win out of these next 3 games at least, because the back half of our schedule is pretty soft. You know, we got to play the Dolphins. Or I should say we get the privilege to play the Dolphins. You know, we get the privilege to play the Arizona Cardinals. You know, we've got some softer teams coming up on the back half of the schedule. So as long as we can get 1 win, you know, in these next 3 weeks, you know, I'll be really happy about it. Well, our rod moved, but no fish. We'll see if it comes back and makes another run at it. Pignoli. Is that the name of your dog, Russo? Pignoli? But yeah, you're fine, Russo. I just appreciate you stopping by, man. I don't expect you to hang out for the whole thing. It's just, you know, it's an absolute honor that you even stopped by, that any of you guys stopped by, you know. You have the Steelers card, Dreamer. That should be an easy week for you guys. I know you guys have to play the Seahawks the week after us. So you guys have, I mean, we basically, the AFC North, you know, we all have the same opponents, you know, with the exception of a couple. And the Steelers should be an easy win for you guys, the way that they've been playing. And then after that, you know, you guys will have another game, and then you'll be playing the Seahawks, which I imagine, you know, the Seahawks are playing tough this year. You know, it's going to be hard for most teams to beat the Seahawks. You know, so that's going to be a tough matchup for you guys coming up as well. But yeah, the NFL is exciting, man. I love the NFL. I also love the NBA. But I haven't been watching the NBA because of Golden State. You know, with Golden State being such a broken team and knowing who's going to win the NBA Finals before the season even starts, I pretty much quit watching. But now that you got Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant in Brooklyn, and you got James Harden reuniting with Russell Westbrook down in Houston, now you got Anthony Davis and LeBron James together. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on in the offseason right now. And I'm pretty fired up to watch some NBA action this year, too. My Indians obviously aren't going to make the playoffs. Didn't make the playoffs. I don't even know if the season's over. I'm assuming it is. But yeah, NFL, man, is my favorite sport. And then the NBA, and then obviously MLB baseball. But lots of exciting, you know, games and matchups, you know, in the NFL coming up. Somebody's flying over with one of them little tiny planes. Yeah, I appreciate that, Russo. I really do. You think the Patriots are... Nah, I disagree. I disagree, Joe Jack. I think the Patriots are totally beatable. I think the Browns are going to kick the Patriots' butt when we play them in 3 weeks. I think the Kansas City Chiefs would smoke the Patriots. I think the Browns will smoke the Patriots. I don't think Pittsburgh Steelers are ever going to beat anybody besides Cincinnati. Cheap shot, cheap shot. I'm kidding, Joe Jack. I'm kidding, brother. Don't get all mad. But I think the Patriots are beatable. I really do. I honestly do. NoCo Silver, what's up, brother? Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate that. How you doing today? I hope your day is going as wonderful as mine is. Which is pretty darn good. Guys, I think we might switch it up and do some lure fishing. Because I'm just not getting it done today, man. They're stealing my bait. My bait's like 3 or 4 days old. I don't think it has the right consistency to be effective. You know, since it's been in the fridge for 4 days. You know, they're stealing my bait. I'm getting action. I'm getting bites. But they're stealing the bait. You know, if they steal the bait, I'm not going to catch them. You know, so I think I might switch up and do some lure fishing here. Maybe try and grab us a bass or a perch. Or anything, really. I just want to catch a fish. I don't want to come out here and strike out. I hate when that happens. Hate when that happens. We're going to give it, I don't know, 5-10 more minutes. And then we'll check it. And if there's no bait on it, I think I'm going to... Oh, that was a good solid hit right there. Oh. Whoa. Whew, I spoke too soon. That was a good solid hit. But I think our bait's gone again. I think our bait is gone again. That was a good solid hit. Something came by and hit that, absolutely slammed that. But again, somehow they didn't get the hook. I could try and switch out to a brand new hook and maybe, you know, put a brand new sharp hook on there. You know, put this one back in the pack. Our rod's still going, guys. The rod is still going. Now it's quit. Something came by and smashed that hook and didn't get hooked somehow. I don't understand how that happens. For something to slam that hard and not get hooked up is absolutely insane. Pats are a great team, but I don't know how well they will do this year. I think the team to beat is Kansas City. Kansas City dang near got knocked off on Sunday, Card Dreamer. They were close. Kansas City almost got knocked off. But they ended up pulling it out, and Kansas City's still undefeated. But I agree. I think Kansas City is the team to beat, next to the Browns, of course. You know, I want to say once the Browns put it all together, you know, and play up to their potential like they played this past week, I think the Browns will be a tough team to beat, too. Oh, I want to grab it, guys. I want to grab it. I want to grab it so bad. This rod is just bending over and then popping right back up. Bending over and then popping right back up. And then going still. It makes me want to grab it and try and set that hook and get that fish, but you guys know how I am. I don't like to hurt the fish, and anytime I grab it and set a hook, typically for some reason it's typically in their stomach. Then I got to do damn surgery on the guys to get the hook out, and I hate that. That was a big carp that just breached. I heard that. I don't know if you guys heard that. It might not have been a carp, but as big as a splash as that made, that sounded like it was a carp that breached. Oh, it's going again, guys. It's going again. It's going again. Oh, it popped back up again. Shoot. Man, we're right on the verge of catching us a fish here, guys. Right on the verge. Something is coming by and absolutely smashing that and not getting the hook somehow. But yeah, I think the Browns, dude, once the Browns put it all together 100%, I think they're going to be one of the teams to beat too, honestly. There's just way too much talent on that team for them not to destroy individuals. And we're still getting action here, guys. We're still getting action. It could happen any second now. Unless we got a little bullhead on there and he's just fighting around and I don't realize it. It could be a little teeny tiny bullhead on there and he's been hooked for a while and he's just fighting a little bit and then resting and then fighting a little bit. It's possible. Belichick is in charge of the defense this year. Every offense in the league is... Yeah, Joe Jack. I mean, that's the way my brother looks at it too. You know, my brother is a big Belichick guy. He's obviously a Browns fan, but he's a big Belichick guy. This rod is still moving, guys. But yeah, Belichick is a hell of a coordinator and a hell of a coach. I just don't believe the Patriots have the players. You know, at the end of the day, it comes down to coaching first, but secondly, the players have to go out and execute. I just don't know if the Patriots have the players. I mean, they got a lot of old dudes in their secondary, you know, like McCourty, Jason McCourty and Devin McCourty. I think they're both on the Patriots, and they're both old as can be. They got a lot of old dudes out there in New England. Joe Jack, the Browns are not a championship-less team, Joe Jack. If you actually had any knowledge about the NFL, you would know that the Browns were a dynasty for about, I don't know, a 15, 20-year span. I think the Browns actually have more NFL championships than any team in the history of football. So you should really know what you're talking about before you try and talk trash, because you obviously have no clue what you're talking about. So that's pretty funny that you would say that we don't have any championships when we have like 8 or 9. Hilarious. Yeah, I like Baker. I think Baker's a good quarterback. Yeah, I disagree, Joe Jack. I disagree. I guess that's the wonderful thing about sports, is you can have disagreements and it'll all be okay. But yeah, I disagree. Do some research, man. Without the state of Ohio, without Northeast Ohio, there wouldn't even be an NFL. So I don't know why you act like nothing good has ever come out of Cleveland or the Northeast Ohio. I mean, if you do any bit of research about the history of football, you would know that Cleveland plays a huge role in that history. So if you're going to be a fan of the game, it's pretty much impossible to hate Cleveland, unless you're just a crybaby, I guess, or ignorant of the facts. You know, but once you learn the facts, you know, you shouldn't keep spreading misnomers. That would make you, you know, ignorant. I guess that's all I have to say about that. Yeah, Card Dreamer, I could, man. I think they stole the bait. I'm going to give it 5 minutes. If I don't see any action here in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it. The phone's only on 7% anyway, so. And we're getting action right now, so they didn't steal the bait. We just got another hit. So the bait must still be on there, I'm assuming. There you go, Card Dreamer. Thanks for dropping the info and the facts, man. The Browns are a historied sports franchise, man. Very, very steep in our history. There would be a lot of teams that wouldn't even have a football team if it, you know, if it wasn't for the Browns. Okay, we got one. Oh, he popped off. He popped off. Dang it, he popped off. Dang it. We had one, guys. We had one. He frickin' popped off. Son of a gun. Son of a gun. Well, guys, that's going to do it for the stream. I'm going to bait it back up and throw it back out there because they're actually... That was a carp. I know for a fact that was a carp because he had it long enough to feel... It was either a carp or a catfish. But he had it just long enough that it felt like a pretty good-sized carp. I didn't feel any rolling or twisting of my line or anything like that. He had it long enough for me to realize that was a damn good fish. That was a damn good fish. But nevertheless, we missed him. And I'm going to bait it back up and try and go again. But it won't happen during the stream, I know that much. That was a good fish, guys. That was definitely a good fish. Damn, guys, that's a bummer. Doing good, Lethal Outdoors. Doing good. Man, I wish Joe Jack didn't get all butthurt and leave the stream. I wish he could have at least seen the facts and, you know, been a man enough to admit, like, oh yeah, I was wrong. I guess the Browns do have a really storied franchise, and I was ignorant of the fact. But I think he got butthurt and left, which is fine. To each their own. But I wish he would have at least seen the facts. That way I would know, like, okay, well, he does know. He's just choosing to spread false information. Man, guys, that was a good carp. I don't think that was a catfish. That was a carp. And even if it was a catfish, that was a good fish we just missed. I mean, he was at least a 5-pounder, at least. He was a good fish. Hopefully we can get out here and get his brother or sister, cousin, mom, dad. We just don't want his kids. We want him or bigger. Him or bigger, guys. Go big or go home, right? Go big or go home. I probably should have put a sharp hook on. But I really don't like throwing on a brand new hook every time I go fishing, you know, because that gets expensive. You know, I try and keep my same hook as long as it's working. But after today, I might have to go home and freshen up this hook. I may have to after today. Because to have that many bites, have my bait stolen that many times, and to have that fish firmly on the line running with the bait and not catch him, that tells me my hook must not be very sharp. It's about the only way I can figure it. Gonna have to get me a sharper hook, guys. Yeah, Card Dreamer. I can't wait to see some fishing videos, brother. I can't wait, man. Post them. I'll definitely watch them for sure. We're just using a pack bait today, Card Dreamer. Panko, Jello, whole kernel sweet corn. And since I don't have any money and we're running out of bait, I crunched up some plain tortilla chips and threw them in there to kind of try and stretch it out a little bit. And a little bit of bread. There's also bread in there. And I'm throwing a little ball of bread on the end of my hook with the pack bait and everything, because the bread will stay on the hook better, you know, than the pack bait would, or than kern kernels would. And the last time I had God, I can't talk. The last time I had corn kernels on my hook, that's when I caught that snapping turtle. So I'm hoping maybe snapping turtle won't go for bread like he did that corn. Yeah, I did not want to catch another snapping turtle. No way do I want to catch one of those. But yeah, a little bread ball on the end with some pack bait around it. And then some pack bait around my weight as well. I have a 2-ounce pyramid sinker packed full of pack bait. How you doing today, Lethal? You done any fishing lately, or haven't really been able to find any good spots, I'm assuming? It's cool to see you in Roynard's stream last night. Chilling out. You know, playing trivia with us. That was pretty cool, Lethal. Trivia was a bit hectic, but I think, you know, it could be ironed out. You know, all they got to do is, you know, make us put the answers in chat, and then you don't have to call out your own name. You don't have to buzz in. You know, you could still be on the voice chat, and we could still all BS, you know, and have a good time and laugh and have fun. But, you know, all official answers, you know, be recognized through the typing system. And then you can actually see, well, who put in the answer first, who put in the answer second, you know, who said what, you know, instead of saying, you know, can you repeat your answer, or, you know, all that stuff. But that was a good time yesterday. Fishing with Slip, what's going on? How you doing? Yeah, it was hectic, but it was a lot of fun, Lethal. You're absolutely right. It was a lot of fun. Guys, the phone's on 1%. Make sure you guys kind of start saying your goodbyes and stuff. I'm going to go ahead and give my little spiel that I always give. Positivity. Positivity is a wonderful thing. No matter what you have going on in your life, try and look at it through a positive lens. And I think that'll help you guys out. And I guess that's basically it. I hope you guys all have a day full of positivity, possibilities, productivity, and peacefulness, guys. You know, don't be hate-filled. You know, don't be full of hatred. Don't be going out attacking other people. You know, be peaceful. You know, I feel that that leads to a much healthier, positive lifestyle. You know? And I guess that's the message from today. You know, it's pretty much the same as every message we do every time we go fishing, you know, so. Yeah, I do, Card Dreamer. When I get some cash, when I get a job here, which will hopefully be soon, you know, when I get a job, that's the first thing I'm buying is some batteries I can take with me and plug my phone into so that I can do longer streams. Because my stream right now is 2 hours. I get about 2 hours and then I'm dead. So I'm going to get one of those and maybe I'll be able to increase it to 3 or 4 hours maybe. But, you know, I brought my backup phone. Any fish that we catch out here, they will eventually be on camera. You know, and I'll upload them. And, you know, those don't ever seem to do very well, but I still do it anyway. And so anything we catch, it will be filmed. You guys will see it. But I agree. I agree. My first investment when I get a job, I'm going to get me a GoPro. And then my second investment will be backup batteries for my phone, backup batteries for the GoPro. You know, extended battery life is a primary focus of mine as soon as I get a job. But right now, I don't have no money, so it ain't happening right now. I consider myself decently intelligent, Lethal. You know, I like to know a little bit about a lot. Fishing with Slip, I don't know if I acknowledged you. I appreciate you stopping by, brother. I appreciate it, man. It means a lot to me, fishing with Slip. Yeah, positivity is key. You're absolutely right, Lethal. Absolutely right. Peace, God bless, and happy fishing. Same to you, Card Dreamer. Same to you. I look forward to seeing some monsters on your YouTube page here in the next few days. Looking forward to seeing some monsters. I know they got some big fish down there in Georgia. You got alligator gar. You guys got them Asian carp. And there's all kinds of big fish. Flatheads. You know, blue catfish. You know, and every body of water is obviously different. But I hope you pull some absolute monsters out, man. I cannot wait to see them. You know, I enjoy watching other people from the community fish. You know, right now the only fishing videos I see are from my buddy Lethal, Big Mike, and myself. You know, and Amio was supposed to post some, but I'd either missed them or he didn't post them. I might have missed them. I should actually go check today to see if Amio dropped some videos. But yeah, not too many people get into fishing, and it's something I enjoy watching. You know, that's why I do it, because it's like, well, I enjoyed watching that. Maybe if I go out and do it, somebody will enjoy watching mine. You know, and that's kind of the thought, you know, behind the whole thing. You know, if I enjoy watching it, maybe someone else will too. But yeah, best of luck to you, my friend. Best of luck to you. Man, it's getting dark quick, guys. It'll be dark here in a half hour. I think I missed my shot at a big carp. I don't think we'll get one of those now. I don't think. Did Mike change his name? Mike the card dude. I think he changed his name from Mike the Indians card dude. That's crazy. Which, yeah, I didn't notice, because I don't know, I haven't been over on his channel in a while. I try and watch people who watch me, and Mike Indians don't really watch me, so I don't really watch him either. But That's crazy you changed his name. I appreciate that, Lethal. I appreciate that, man. We missed some big fish today. We missed some big fish, but I'm not giving up. We're going to try and get one. All right, guys, you guys have a good one.